Welcome to channel we make your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Carl Young, your online YouTube visa consultant. Are you interested in migrating to Australia? Why don't you consider to subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell on the side so once we have all the updates and news, you'll be the first one getting all the insight. Alright, so we are moving back to the topic of international education, which we have talked about for more than half a year, or more than 6 months, perhaps almost a year, I think, since the Minister of Education, Jason Clare, had declared the federal government is looking towards to wipe out all the so-called ghost colleges and also have regulated the relevant immigration policy to have some sort of risk level to be embedded into all the different country of passports, and also the education providers. Obviously that has struck the whole international education sector. Now, I've recently received a lot of comments and information and emails from good friends of ours in the education sector that they seems they were soon to be sacked or fired because the market is just not there, not suffice to actually hold that many marketing staffs anymore. So it's a bit of sad how the fourth largest export market of Australia has become in such situation. However, it seems to be inevitable. It's just common in the industry has been a mess. As in fact, there's just so many RTO, so many registered training organization has been practiced badly, doing all the bad conducts. However, how I have also condemned how the government of Australia has always been doing. They always choose a way, how I describe it is more like a chemotherapies, where they put in the chemo mode that all the goods and the bad sales, obviously they are targeting at the bad sales or the bad players. However, all the good players and bad good sales also being killed as well. However, let's just be transparent, and I wanted to let you know that how the government is moving towards things. Hopefully we will get through this period of time, and people may ask how long would this be. I think we'll go at least a year. So it's gonna be the toughest time. I've been receiving people have been telling me in the industry that this situation is actually worse than the COVID, because during COVID they get subsidized, they get money from the government. Now this time, no money being subsidized, and the whole industry is suffering. All right, let's go in there, have a look at the this information that's coming from the federal government of Australia and the agency, so-called Australian Skill Quality Authority, which is the authority that regulates all the education sector. So they have somehow formed so-called risk priorities for the 2024 and 25. Now, what does that mean? That means they are looking for bad players. They have now set up a policy to scan, monitor, and track down and tackle down all the bad players. But during this time, obviously, the good players are also being, partially being killed as well. Anyway, I'm not gonna go through the whole boring document there. There has actually been a summarized information from the Koala News which I'm gonna take you through, but let's have a look. The risk priority here on the top here, so I'm gonna scroll that. So that's the risk priority. So that means these topics are the main topics that the government of Australia is looking to identify for the bad players. So there's a non-genuine providers and bad faith operator. I'm not too sure how they define bad faith. Probably means they have they made the promise, or no, but they signed a contract, or they have told the government what they're gonna do, but they didn't fulfill what they said they want to do. And there's international deliveries. Obviously, that's where the bulk of money comes from. So for international students, they pay a handsome lot of cash to these education providers. However, they probably not genuine, and they probably are bad faith. Academic cheating, they allow cheating. So in order to help those so-called students, but they're not students, they probably are out there working, probably full-time as well, or overtime. They help the student cheats, so they get academic performance records, so they can report back to the government saying, look, we're actually a good player out here, but they're actually not. Recognition of prior learning, there has been a lot of institution providing this solution. That's just to help a lot of foreigners to actually get their qualification being assessed as standards of Australian standards, so they can actually go out there with a license or things like that. But why is it recognition of prior learning is up here? I think it's because a lot of these recognition is actually done badly, or they don't even go through the assessments. They just provide certificates, exchange with money. They don't really assess the detail of the applicant or candidate's background at all. That's why they have been putting into this priority list here. Shorten course durations. I'm not too sure how that will work, because if you make it longer, you probably make more money. But shorten course duration, probably a way to drop the staff or the teaching staff's expenses, and that probably don't meet the requirements of the qualification and framework of education. Student work placements, it's very a lot of people has been talking about this one. Online delivery, whether or not they actually teachers, or they provide a lot of online teaching, setting up risk priority and previous risk priority and strategy document. Anyway, so that's what it is, and let's have a look at the Koala News, which it has provide us some summary there. So I'm going to just read them out and it explains it. So last week, Australian Steel Quality Authority, ASQA, so that's how they call it, ASQA. ASQA released the regulatory risk priorities for 2024 and 25. Most of risk priority of 2024-25 are going priority areas from previous year. So that means not much to change, but I think they are, although it's not much to change, but they are putting more actions on catching up with all these so-called bad players. However, again, I would like to still warn in this channel that just don't touch any vet courses at this point in time, because the rate of refusal on student visa application is just too high and too hard of the risk for you to actually pay for those kind of costs, especially now the student visa has been increased from $710 to $1,600, $1,600. So just don't touch it at this point in time, not until all this has been set and everything has been reset into a new environment. Then it will be safe for you to actually apply for vet sectors. So let's go back to that information there. So they're catching up on the non-genuine provider, bad faith operator. So internationally, continue regulatory priorities. So identifying its research on some ESOs providers. So ESOs means the education providers, but it's just an act. They make it shorter. ESOs are not meeting obligation to monitor course progress and attendance. Some provider and third party are engaging misleading and hostile marketing practice. Not too sure how they meant hostile marketing practice. I think they are probably grappling agents, education agents, saying, look, if you assist us to promote this, you get handsome amount of percentage of commissions. I think that's what they're trying to say. So hostile marketing process practices, and that attracts a lot of international students, especially from Southeast Asia and also India and Pakistan and all these regions more likely to be exposed to this kind of practices. Used to be in East Asia, I recall, back in the early 2000s, but people had learned, their lessons. So now they are focusing on the markets and regions in Southeast Asia and also Central Asia countries. Okay, some providers are issuing fraudulent qualifications. So that's exactly what I have said about the prior recognized prior learning, where they don't assess anything. They just take the money and give you the certificates, both onshore and offshore international student financial gain. So that's exactly what I said. Professional facilitators such as education and migration agent may enroll their client into RTO they own or manage, possibly presenting conflict of interest. So what does that mean? That means some education some schools, colleges or institutions are owned by education agents or migration agents, where they promote solely just to get their student into their own colleges. So that is a conflict of interest. You should not do that in a way. However, there's actually no law against that, but they are catching up on those practices there. In response, ASQA will focus on following priorities. So ghost colleges again. Okay, so what we have just said, they are all so-called the ghost colleges. There has been, I think back then was July 2023 that the Minister of Education departments has Jason Clare has declared in the media that they are catching up with those colleges. Fit and proper person requirements, so whether or not the owner of the colleges or institution is fit and proper. Now, it's a very gray area how they define fit and proper. Usually is they don't have any character issues. Misleading marketing practice, we have explained that. Non-compliance with reporting obligations. So for example, they help the student to cheat, provide fraudulent or fake academic records, and fraudulent assistant qualification. That's basically together. In targeting of non-genuine provider and bad faith operator, ASQA says it will focus on fit and proper person requirement, fraudulent issuance of qualification, funding fraud. I'm not too sure how they work that. They help. I think that what they meant is I have seen so many those RTOs providing installments for their tuition fee and putting into 10, 12 different installments. So I think that's what they meant by funding fraud, where they help this international students, although they sign a contract or offer for a handsome load of international student fees, but then they get these international students to go out to in the workforce to make the money to pay in those installments. Liquidated or cancelled provider re-emerging under new business entity. Wow, people really have guts. So they basically close down or bankrupt, and they come back again, and then re-establish another colleges in school. Infiltration of serious organized crime. That's pretty hard. I'm not too sure. I haven't seen, in fact, any education provider conducting any international serious organized crime. But that would be interesting to know if there's any. So that's the priorities that we have just gone through from the ASQA website. And again, ASQA uses risk-based approach to determine most significant risks to achieve ASQA's purpose of ensuring quality, vet, and integrity of national quality issuing and training providers. So they did not mention anything about the higher education sector. It's solely on the vet sector, because vet sector in Australia is the only sector that people could access or establish privately, and where the non-genuine and bad faith operator usually to be in, because to set up a vet colleges, it's much cheaper. They obviously set up a university. University will be you gotta spend millions or perhaps billions of dollars. But vet, Nah, you can probably start with a little classroom set and where to go, and that's where the government of Australia is looking towards those so-called ghost colleges. Anyway, that's just some updates for you, so watch out. So share this information. Do share this information to your friends. If they want to come to Australia, and, just stay away from the VET sector, because the next 12 months it's gonna be bad. You don't want to throw money into those colleges where very likely you get refusal and waste of your cost there. Anyways, should you have more question, query, more than welcome to leave comment right down below. Let's see you next video. Goodbye.